Hello, it's Amy Zewe with the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report for Friday, August 19th. We are coming into the final weekend of the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. In the last 2.5 weeks, we have seen a lot of collaboration and sportsmanship and elite athleticism as individuals from around the world competed as teams and for individual events in a sense of collaboration and solidarity with their fellow athletes, taking pride in their national origin and their ethnicity, as well as seeing that there is an invisible line amongst all athletes and ethnicities when it comes to athleticism and the collaborative nature of the games. However, anti-Semitism did pop its head up during the games and with a great sense of unsportsmanlike conduct, and we didn't see much of it in the news. It started at the opening ceremonies. The Israeli contingency of 47 athletes was to board the same bus as the Lebanese team in order to go to the opening ceremonies. The Lebanese team boarded first, and with physical blockading the door, refused to let the Israeli athletes onto the bus. Now, one may say this was poor planning on the Olympic Committee to have these two teams be on the same bus, but at the same time, the Lebanese team should have shown some sportsmanship and shared the bus with the Israelis. But they didn't. It got to the point where the Olympic Committee had to call a second bus in and bring the Israelis to the opening ceremony. This got very little media coverage, and I only found out about it through social media postings. Moreover, there are athletic profiles done on the news so that we can learn about individual athletes and their stories from where they grew up around the world. One such story was about a Palestinian swimmer named Mary Al-Atrash. And this profile was presented that she had to overcome all sorts of oppression in order to train for the Olympics. The story, released by a Palestinian newspaper, said that, to the world by the way, said that she was denied access to an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Jerusalem and therefore had to train in a half-size pool in the West Bank. However, the story neglected to mention that all Palestinian swimmers and athletes are invited to use the pool in Jerusalem so long as they fill out the necessary paperwork, the permit to use the pool. All Palestinian athletes traditionally refuse to fill out this paperwork and refuse to take the opportunity to use that pool. I guess this is a form of protest or boycotting on their part, but it is their choice. Moreover, there are several Olympic-sized swimming pools in the Palestinian territories to which this Miss Mary could have gained access. So that should have been part of the story as well. Moreover, many swimmers from around the world, including many American swimmers, train in 25-meter pools. That is half the size of an Olympic pool, because sometimes geographically there's not an Olympic-sized swimming pool available for someone to train in. It is common for swimmers to use the half-size pool during their training. Now, to the credit of many reporters who are familiar with the Middle East and also have access to this AP wire, they did chime in and correct the record, noting the permit issue and noting the availability of other pools the swimmer could have used. Now, I bring this up in the connection to our continued discussions of BDS because it's the same spin. The boycott, divest, and sanction movement tries to demonize the state of Israel as an oppressor and an aggressor against the Palestinian people. And this is always done with half-truths, incomplete information, or bold-faced lies. This particular newspaper article that came out about Miss Mary, the swimmer, illustrates that approach to media coverage of Israel and to gin up hatred or at least bad feelings against the Israelis. On another note, two officials in Gaza, one working for the World Vision Organization and one working for the UN, have recently been arrested by Israeli officials for funneling and laundering money and supplies from these organizations that are trying to do good to terror groups, including Hamas. World Vision is as much a victim as are the people to this theft by a Mr. El Halabi, which the Israelis have in custody, and a few days later, the Israelis arrested Walid Borsh, a UN representative who has been accused of similar laundering of money and redirecting of resources. I bring this up to you all so that you can understand that when the Israelis have trade embargoes and blockades to vet where resources and money are going, they're doing it for good cause. They're doing it because things that are going or intended to go to the Palestinian people, concrete for hospitals and schools, supplies for families, are being redirected to terrorist groups in an effort to not only target Israeli citizens, but at the same time it actually hurts the Palestinian citizenry as well. Of course, the BDS movement doesn't like this view and doesn't like this understanding of why Israeli security measures are what they are. And it's interesting that it is the Israeli security forces and investigative groups that are finding out what, at the very least, are crimes being committed with money from well-meaning individuals and organizations that hurt the Palestinian people and pose a direct threat against the Israeli people. Please be aware of where your dollars are going, tax dollars and donation dollars, so that you can understand that the media and other organizations and college campuses and within political groups are trying to target Israel unfairly to get the greater public to continue to demonize Israel and show them to be the cause of the Palestinian people's problems. And this simply is not the case. So as you enjoy this weekend upcoming and look forward to the closing celebration for the Olympics, may you take joy in the camaraderie and the collaborative nature and the world citizenship that the athletes are finding, as well as the pride in their individual nationalities, and understand that if diversity really is the goal, it applies also to Jews and the nation of Israel. They deserve the same love and respect of any fun-loving, intelligent group of people that are doing good for the world. Shavua Tov. Have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.